Let's analyze the simple past structure. The simple past is composed by a pronoun, which is also known as a subject, a verb, which should be in the past, and an object, which I would like to call a WQ section. The WQ section answers to the questions like what, where, when, why, etc. Let's check out these examples. Peter went to school. He paid attention in class. Now, please observe how I used two verbs that are different. One is an irregular verb and the other one is a normal verb. The question remains, how do we use this tense? We're going to use this tense to ask questions about the past. We are also going to use this tense to talk about negative ideas or negative things of the past, as well as states and finished activities. But how am I going to make a question, you might wonder? Well, it is pretty basic. What you're going to observe first is that we're going to use exactly the same elements as we use in the positive statement. We use a pronoun, we use a verb, and we use a WQ. But which are the differences? Please observe the animation. As the animation develops, you're going to notice that I left a space between the WQ and the pronoun. What is that for? That is for the auxiliary verb. You are also going to notice that I changed the verb in the past to the verb in the present. The auxiliary is a necessary component for questions in the past. We use did. Now let's go for some examples, and I'm going to use the example that we used before. Peter went to school. What I want you to observe is that to school responds to the WQ where, and that is what we're going to use at the beginning of the question. Where, with the auxiliary verb did, Peter go. Remember that the verb goes in the simple present. Can you transform this sentence into a question? But what about states? States are those things that we know as stative verbs, like enjoy, think, feel, wonder. You're going to observe that we use the auxiliary verb used to. And when we use the auxiliary verb used to, we use the verb in the simple present. Now, very important, states are also those things that used to happen in the past. Like, for example, people used to ride horses because there were no cars.